We're trickling in. I'm getting it. I'm getting a good vibe here. Okay, black screen. That's a good sign. Okay. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I think we're all coming together. I like this. Greg, were you able to get it to work?
I was actually on a second computer and I realized, oh, I have to be on one computer for this. So I'm just sort of catching up. I'll be okay.
No stress. No stress. It's fine, sir. All right, we're going to go ahead and check out the next step. Okay, everybody. So now that you have your virtual camera able to go, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I want you to set, and I know this means people are going to be turned off their cameras here, but I want you to use OBS virtual camera in this call. Okay. So for this call, please make sure you have OBS virtual camera turned on and not your webcam. And the reason we have to do that is because your webcam can only be used as a source in one program at one time. Right. So you can't have it running in OBS and in Zoom.
Victor, I'm not sure if you saw Jessamyn's message in the chat.
I did not. Where is this? Let me see. Where's the chat? Oh, it's way over here. Okay. Hi, Victor. Can you make me host again? It depends how much money you got. Let me do that real quick.
Thank you.
Done. Yes.
Great.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and move on. We don't have a ton of time, but we're doing great. And now we're going to set up our sources. Now, did any of you have sources set up by default in your panel? Or are your source panels empty?
Empty.
Empty.
For me too.
Love it.
I deleted all mine.
That's great. That's great. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to send a photo to you guys, or a picture, I should say. I'm going to drop this in and go ahead and download this picture real quick from the chat. And I'm going to show you how to add it as a source. Okay. It should just be National Conference 1. And now we're going to go ahead and take the step of adding a source in. You can there are the plus and minus buttons at the bottom, but I actually prefer just right clicking, or you can click the plus and minus options. And we're going to go down. We're going to go down into image. You click image as a source. Okay. And perhaps it would be better if I shared my display for this. Give me just a second here. Just a moment, please. Yeah, that's probably easier. Do that. Okay. So I should now be sharing my second display here, and I'm going to move this here for you. Can everyone see that okay? Can you see my whole screen over here? Excellent. Okay. Close out my messages, make sure there's nothing too incriminating, and then we'll go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to right click here. I add a source and I go down to image, and then you should have create new, and you could simply have it as image, or you could name it whatever you want. I already have it here. I saved it as a name. Okay. And let's just say we're going to add a new one. Okay. We're going to add a new image. I just click OK. And then I browse. And this is where I want you to find that file in wherever your computer is. Okay. For me, mine's on my desktop. and I have the national conference file, right? You open it, and then you just click OK. And now it's on my screen. I got a thumbs up from Lisa, it looks like. Wonderful. Okay. And so now that it's here, I'm going to go ahead and try to, you can drag the corners for images if you want. I'm going to just move it to the full size of the screen. And there you go. For any of your sources, let's take a look at the sources window. You can see that there's an eye icon. If I turn this off, it hides the source. Turn it on, the source is visible. And the sources, you can also lock it. And then if I click around on here, nothing happens, which is nice for background images, or if you don't want to accidentally move your camera or anything else. Did I say natural conference? Yeah, there we go, Greg. I like it. It's starting to look natural conference. It's a good ring. It's a good ring. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes, and we're going to add, what are we adding next? Your microphones, okay? Now, what we do is we go to add another source here. And at the very top, you add audio input capture. Audio input capture. And I'm going to say create new. And I'm just going to label mine just Mike in all bold. Okay. And then it opens up this window. And you choose which audio device you have here. For me, I have a number of devices. So I'm just going to pick my nice mic I have plugged in, I use for work as a source, and I click OK. And now you could see that the mic source was added here, and the mic source is now popped up in my audio mixer as well. So everyone, let's see, where are we going with this? You can adjust the volume. You see, sometimes if I talk a little loud, it gets into the red. If you feel like it's a little loud, I can just move this down here. And now any recording or streaming, regardless of how loud I am, I'm limiting the volume through OBS. So I can control this specific microphone's volume level through OBS. You can also control, when you're recording videos, the volume level of any of your like background movies or any graphics or anything else that you're using, any clips while you're recording something, you know, specifically per program, per source, which is really nice. For your mic, take a look here. You see there's some like white noise, right? If you're just quiet. And when I'm clicking my mouse, it kind of pops in too. I'm going to introduce something called filters. Filters are really excellent for OBS. And there's something called a noise gate. It's not registering your audio, but it is coming through from the mic aux option that was already there. Okay. So if you, Lisa, when you click your source, your default option might be your other mic, or maybe your default option isn't set as an audio source on your computer. It's important just to, if you already have input coming in as your mic source in OBS, you don't have to worry about setting anything else up. Right. It's no problem. Whatever one is registering right now, I'm going to introduce something called a noise gate, which I think is a really excellent tool for us as teachers or for anybody who's recording video. The noise gate, you just go ahead and click plus down here in the filters. You can click noise gate, name it, probably just click OK. And this allows you to create a threshold at which your mic will start to be picked up by OBS. So you can change the volume here. And as you adjust it, you can see, let's say the open threshold is really high. And now my audio mixer is not picking up my microphone, even though I'm speaking the same way, because I have to be super loud or it's not going to pick up the audio, right? Because I changed the limit on which it's going to pick it up. Ah! So you probably want to mess around with this on your own to determine how high is good for blocking out your keyboard clicks or your mouse, but still picks up your volume while you're talking to your students or recording your video, so that your background, you won't pick up the background noise, which is excellent.
Can you remind me again, Victor, where you went to get to the noise gate option?
I can, of course.
Yeah.
You click the settings for your audio source. You can right click it, or you
Settings,
just
great.
click this button, and then it's right there in the filters. Yeah.
Great.
The thing with audio specifically, it's very difficult to edit audio post-production. Like to try, if you look at your videos and you hear your recordings and you're thinking, man, I sound terrible, or God, there's that humming noise. Audio is a pain in the butt. The best way to have good audio for anything you're doing is to get it right the first time. It's just when you're recording it. That's why it's really, in my experience, it's really useful to have a tool like this where you can make sure everything sounds okay. And pro tip, you can test out any of your settings before you actually go into your class or review anything or make a video by doing a simple recording and then listening to it played back, whatever the file is. And that's a good way to kind of test whenever you make adjustments to see how you're going to sound before you go through the finished product. All right, so now we have our audio sources here, and I want everyone to try to set that noise gate. Do me a favor, go to your filters and add a noise gate filter and see if you can adjust these a little bit. The default should work well, but maybe for in your experience, specific settings and equipment, you might need to move it around a little, and just set that up for me. Go ahead and try setting it up.
Victor, just a quick question.
Of course.
I have two mics going on here. I think it's because I'm guessing it's my MacBook, and then I have a mic in front of me right here. Should I disable one of them?
If you, whatever source you want to use in your videos or recordings, leave that in, okay? And if there are any extra devices added by default, all you got to do is simply right-click the source. Well, first of all, you can just hide the source. Take a look. If I hid my audio input there, I click the eye off, it's out of the audio mixer. It's gone. But if you want to just get rid of it off of your settings for OBS right now, you don't want to use it. It's your default mic. It's your webcam mic. It's something that's just not going to help you. Right-click it. Remove it. Bam. Are you sure? Yes. Goodbye.
Gotcha. Right-click on the source.
It's really easy to do that. And if you have a mic or a Mac, I'm sorry, you can, I guess, I don't think there's a right click on some Mac mouses. Is there now? I'm uncertain. I know some do and some don't. You can just click the settings. You can click the source here and maybe Apple key, or just click the settings button at the bottom. And you should be able to deal with it. I think right click is easiest though, but here we go. If you want to more than one mic, you can get some weird effects recording. Yeah, that's true. You definitely don't want two microphones, most likely, regardless of what you're recording. That is true. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add that back in real quick. Here we go, mic. Bam. I changed it to my microphone, and you can name it whatever you want, and you could be like USB mic 2, whatever you have set up, anything to help you remember what your equipment is. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in there, add that filter again, right? Noise gate. Okay. Done. So now we figured out how to throw a source in of some kind, and we figured out how to add a microphone, our audio source. And Neo brought up a great point. If you have any audio sources you don't want in here, hide them or get rid of them. It's a good idea. Otherwise, you're going to have interference or something random popping up for sure. You see that? I just drank this and I went, and it wasn't picked up. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay. Let's take a look. Right. So I think most of you have your desktop audio set up by default, but if you do not, you can add audio output capture. Okay. And that is input capture is something we're adding into OBS, is picking up our voice here. But output capture would be if you have another source of audio from your computer. And for me, I use a third-party program, but like, for example, whatever your audio sources that you're listening to something. So let's say you're watching a video, whatever you use to listen to the audio from the video, choose that device here. So let's say I'm using my right monitor because I have a couple to listen to the audio for some video. Then, oh yeah, let me go ahead and that's the source I chose. And I'm gonna rename this one so I remember. I'll be like right monitor. Okay. Now any audio that comes out of my right monitor on my PC, I'm gonna have it picked up by OBS. Okay. That only matters if you have a lot of extra equipment, but it seems like I'm sure some of us do have more than one microphone or audio source. I'm sure, especially given today compared to a couple years ago. Okay, now there's the other. Let's go ahead and move on. We have some audio. We got an audio source. We added an image. We figured out how to get desktop audio or other audio on here. How about our camera? Let's get our face on there. And that's what we're going to add next. First step, in case you might be surprised, you go ahead and click the plus sign button here, or just right click and add. You can see there's a lot of options on here, but for video, we're going to go ahead and go to video capture device, and that's for your webcam or any other camera you have connected to your computer at this time. And I have mine here, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create a new one, video capture device. I'm going to click OK. And when you click OK, this window pops up here. And we go through it step by step, okay? The first thing you want to do is you want to choose which device. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn. So I'm going to turn my video off real quick on Zoom. Okay, and now it should pop up here for us. There we go. Wham, there you go. So now I have my webcam source right here in OBS. And if you can't see your webcam in OBS, go ahead and do what I did. You can disable your video on Zoom real quick and then pop it open in OBS. Okay. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to take a look at your resolution. Now it has right now, mine is set to like 4:3, right? Why is that? I don't want that. I'm going to go ahead and click custom. I click the custom button and then resolution. There's a drop down list. The arrow is really far to the right, but you can go ahead and take a look at a drop down list of resolutions. And I'm going to choose my computer's highest one, which is 1920 by 1080. And now you see my source is switched to a beautiful widescreen. Okay. For FPS, you probably want to go the highest possible. So I'm going to go ahead and click highest FPS. That's frames per second. If it's too low, it looks very jittery for whoever is watching your video. So higher is better. And if you click highest, it will use the highest that it feels like your computer can run. So that's typically the best setting. Video format, this shouldn't matter really. You don't have to mess with any of these if you don't. I don't mess with them. The buffering settings, you want to flip it vertically. I mean, if you want to, I don't feel a need to do that. But if your source is for some reason, this is something you need to do. The option's there for other video sources if you want to add it in, okay? But for my webcam specifically, my camera, not necessary. And okay, bam, whoa, there we go. That's me, popped up. There we go. Now, I have my camera here. I'm gonna go ahead and rename this now to be like my webcam. Thanks, Victor. Yeah, thanks a lot, James. Good luck. Good to see you. Oh, not my webcam. Nailed it. Now, here's the cool part. Here's the cool part. We're going to get into the fun part. I added my camera. Is this really useful? Yeah, it's useful. It's great. What's the difference between this and just using it on Zoom? Nothing right now. But we're going to go ahead and right click this. We're going to go into our properties. Okay. I'm going to go back to this window and I'm going to click configure video. Configure video opens up this little box here. And you should be able, for the first section at the very top, you can edit. You can see how you can edit the brightness of your camera, contrast. Thank you very much, Jessamine. Anything you need to do here, okay? Now, this is really useful, especially if you don't have natural lighting. Natural lighting makes your face look great. Not everybody has the ability to teach in front of the sun or record in front of the sun or do stuff during the daytime in a nice lighted office. So let's say like right now, I'm going to close my window and I have a lovely little light, LED light over there. I got one right here blasting us. Whoa. Okay. So Neo, it should be in configure video, which is right here. Right here. Do you see that setting? If you, here we go. I'm going to show you one more time. You go ahead and right click your video source, go to properties, and then you can see the configure video box. Okay. All right. So now now that I don't have natural light, you can see it's changed a bit. Let's see. I'm going to drop that down a little. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to move this a little bit, change my brightness. Contrast looks good. Yeah, okay. I think I look okay. Let's go to my camera control. One thing you want to do here is turn off autofocus. Okay. Autofocus typically doesn't work very well with OBS, and it will like zoom in on your face and zoom out, like it'll blur it a bit. It's not a good idea. So I think it's better to adjust this manually, kind of find the right setting to make where you look the best. And if your camera, if you feel like it's getting too much or the angle's wrong, you can zoom in a little bit. And after you zoom in, you can move, you can pan or tilt to the sides if you want. Okay, go ahead and do that right here. Low light compensation, it's a nice slight adjustment, and you can turn that on or off if you want. And then you just click apply. Okay. Okay. There's my face. Looking good. All right. And now that I have this set up this way, I can go ahead and look at Zoom. I turn on my virtual camera. And this, my updated video, is what shows up. So I have all my settings updated. This is my clean, crisp, OBS is running it. I made myself look better. I dealt with my crappy lighting, and here I am. So this is a much better way for you to have a professional looking video feed for whatever chat or anything else you're working with. So hands down, I've done this for a couple of years now, and it is excellent. So we only have 0 minutes left. Of course, I over-prepared because that's always what you do. But what have we done? Let's go ahead and go over it real quick. We added an audio source. We made the audio source clean and doesn't pick up background noise. We added a video source. We changed the lighting, adjusted the settings, and then we figured out how to use OBS to stream our video source into Zoom. And the same thing works. You will see if you change your webcam settings for any application or program that uses your camera, anything, Microsoft Teams, Skype, WhatsApp, whatever you're using to help with your professional meetings, calls, and classes, you can use this.
Great. I'm assuming that I could click on start recording if I wanted to get a picture of me talking to the camera to send to somebody, right? So that's there too.
Yes, you can go ahead and you can definitely you could record all you want. That's right. And we didn't get into the bread and butter of some of the recording settings, but you can simply, if you open up your settings, it's not too complicated. If you just look at something like output, and then there's like output. Real quick before we go, real quick, let me change this real quick. Oh, you can't adjust this when I'm mid streaming, so it doesn't work. Right. But you can change where your file will go. So mine is set to default to videos. Just make sure you know where is OBS sending your videos so that after you recorded it, you're not stressed running around. Oh no, I made this excellent video. Where did it go?
Great. Where should people go next if they have questions for you about this?
Wakanda. That's where we're going. Yeah.
Will they be able to find you on what is it? Discord reaches Wakanda, right?
Yeah, I suppose you could find me on. I'm in the events Discord on KOTESOL. I'm gonna go ahead and add my email in here in case that wasn't included. Please reach out to me anytime you have a question. I would love to field it from you guys. I have been using this program for lots of things. I do live stream, occasional video games and fun stuff like that. And I do have a very simple podcast I do with a friend where we review indie games. For example, what I'm going to do is I will drop a picture really quickly into the chat that gives you some simple shortcuts that you can use for your OBS pleasure. And I would also like to add that OBS is completely open source. And one of the best things about it is there are so many plugins. If you want to do something extra and you're thinking, can I do it with OBS? A simple search online will probably say yes. And you might be able to find something interesting to help you do something creative you want to do. Thank you guys for coming today.
Wonderful. I'm so sorry we ran out of time now. There's a lot of great stuff that we can do with this program. I know. Can we everybody all unmute microphones for a moment and give a big round of applause to Victor? Thank you so much.
That's too kind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know I've been trying to use this more. So yeah, thank you for all of that.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna throw this up here.
Nice.
It might be related to Easter egg hunt. Just a heads up. Okay. So
very helpful. Very helpful. And I am stopping the recording. We are finished. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Just a quick question, Lisa. How did you get your background to? How did you remove your background?
Just now?
From your camera, you can only see just your face and your body, but we can't see like
everything else. I have a background filter on.
Oh, that's why.
On Zoom.
Oh, on Zoom. Okay, never mind.
So in the properties, go to background and filters.
Yeah.
And I'm using one of the.
That's why.
The ones for the event.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's why. All right.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Best of luck to the excellent presenters coming on today. And I'll see everyone later.
Thanks so much, Victor. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.